What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Good Old Boy Podcast. For those of you who are first tuning in, welcome to this show where we are champions of the common man, bringing common sense, bringing a little bit back more of common. If you're a returning listener, thank you so much for tuning in again. Really appreciate it. I have missed y'all. I hope everybody had a great Christmas and New Year and just some time to wind down and relax and enjoy their time with family. Maybe you traveled, maybe you stayed at home, maybe you were alone, maybe you were with people, whatever it is, man, I hope it was the best for you. And I hope this new year is kicking off for you. I know I could have thrown something out earlier and I was really concerned about, I said, you know what, I'm going to take that first week. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to have some fun. I'm going to get back to a few little things, recalibrate all that, because let me be honest, everything leading up to the new year is a crazy time. And then once the new year hits and everything kind of, the dust starts settling, you're able to get back into it. So, as always, guys, if you're looking to start this new year and maybe you're not sure how to get started, not sure where to begin, you have ideas, you have thoughts, but you need help organizing, you just need somebody to talk to about it, do me a favor, go to the show notes and click on the link in the bio and schedule that 15-minute call. Let's have a talk. Let's get plans so that 2024 could be awesome, so that we can get some traction going, a plan happening, and go from there. It's real easy, real simple, real confidential also. Now, as you can also see, I am wearing this good old boy hat. We also have t-shirts that you can get online. If you're interested in a hat, do me a favor, just shoot me a DM and we'll make an arrangement on that. Send me a message, shoot me a text. I've already got a couple, so thank y'all to those guys sporting those. And we even gave one of these away. Mr. Nathan Bennett was the guy that won those. Want to get him on this show to come talk about F3. If you have not experienced that, highly recommend. I have not done it yet, but the guys I know who are involved with it and are doing it are loving it. So, want to learn more about that this year. Maybe even go get a workout with those guys. But if you're interested, 247 Metal Fab turned these around for me real well. Had a bunch of guys requesting it. So if you're interested, shoot me a message on that. Let's see. What else of announcements or things like that do we have? I think that's it. I'll put links to, how you can get the hat, and if you're looking for a shirt, I've got shirts available too online through our Etsy shop, and you'll be able to get those. And I've got the price for these, everything really kind of affordable. I've got a $25 hat. This isn't a $40 hat. This is a $25 hat. So pick those up before they're all gone. And if they're all gone, we'll make some more. I'll make that deal with you. So, guys, it's this new year. And during this time, I was very fortunate where I was able to actually catch up with a bunch of friends of mine. Guys that maybe I haven't talked to in a while. I was able to sit down and have conversations with them and ask them about things going on and what's been happening and how's their Christmas and how's their vacation, how's their hunting trips, how's their spouses, how's their kids, all those things. And it was really good hearing about that from everyone. It seemed like this common theme was, man, 2023 kicked me in the ass pretty hard, but my Christmas was real good. I was able to separate and be down. And I was able to, I know for us, we spent time cooking, eating, drinking, and just visiting with people and enjoying that time. And it was real nice and real special. So, thoroughly enjoyed, probably one of the best holidays I've had in a while. Top 3. Let's just throw that out there. So, but one of the interactions that got me, and it's funny because when my buddy told me this story, I said, I'm going to do a topic on this because it spoke to me in a way. And that's where a lot of the topics come from, is the conversations I have with my buddies and people inspire me, these little episodes that are 20 minutes long, because it gets me thinking about things, because I become very reflective and I become nostalgic and I become, I don't know, reflective, whatever words we want to throw out, about how that actually can be translated into the common sense approach of life. Uh, and in fact, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking of a few other stories that, were told to me during the holidays and how to come back on this. But one of my buddies was all of a sudden, I get a message from him, and it's a picture of his son with his dad, so the boy's grandpa, and he's holding a gun. And I know it's Christmas time, typically, kids get guns, kids go hunting, things like that. And he lets me know, he said, my dad gave my son this rifle. And the story he explained was that it was actually his grandfather's gun that was given to his dad, who was given to him, in which now it was given to his son. And if you're not someone who's into firearms or things like that, being handed down a firearm is a very, it's a very important thing. It's a very traditional thing. It's something that is passed on. It's given down because it's something that each one of those generations has a story about. I'm sure his grandfather, my buddy's grandfather, has a story about when he bought it and then he killed his first deer with it. And then his dad had a story about whenever he got it and he killed his first deer. And he told me, he's like, this was the first rifle I killed my first deer with. And now he's ready for his son to go forth and take that challenge on using something that has been passed on from one to the next, to the next, to the next. And I thought, how amazing was that over the span of those guys' lives, they've maintained and kept and utilized and passed on and completed this cycle of what happens to get this young man his first rifle, which was carried on in the family. And I remember I was talking to another buddy of mine, and they said, hey, what's one of the best gifts you ever had for Christmas? And I told them it's probably a gun I had gotten. It was a Browning Satori over-under shotgun I had got for Christmas, and it was a beautiful gun, and it means a lot to me. And I've killed ducks, and I've killed dove, and I've killed all kind of animals with it, and I've skeet shot with it, and it's been a very good gun. And so I'm thinking about this from the approach of, Grandpa's gun. I can go into my safe and I can look at guns that were handed down to me, that were passed down to me. So there are things that have been passed down to me from my father, from his grandfather. And it made me really reflective in this fact that I remember when my grandfather passed away on my dad's side, I was up in our building back in Cutoff, and we're up top, and we had we're in the building where we operated our business at, and up top was a big storage area where we kept a bunch of different tools and things like that. It's empty now. But at one point there was a table, and on that table was just items strewn about. There were some locks, there were some shotgun shells, there were some keys, there were almost trinkets in a way. And I remember asking my dad, I was like, hey, what's this? And this was recently. He says, that's everything my dad left me. That's what's left. And I don't know why that stuck with me, but when I looked at it, I'm like, oh man, that ain't much. But it was something. And that really got me thinking about that, my buddy's kid getting the gun and the legacy behind it and everything, and that word legacy struck out in it to the point where it's like, man, what am I going to leave behind? I don't really have anything from Grandpaw to pass down. I've got stories, I've got that. But what's going to be passed down to my boys, to my daughter? And that really got me thinking about, all right, you know, I'm a good old boy, so I got my guns, I've got my knives, I've got my grandpa's knives. Now that I think about that, I've got a couple of knives from him. I've got some tools. My grandfather on my mom's side was he owned a hardware store, so I've got some tools. I've got some things. But it makes me think about, the things that have been carried on throughout. But what are the things that are going to get handed down and be like, man, this was from great grandpa Buster. You don't understand where this comes from, or let me tell you the story of where this comes from and how he used it, and when I give it to my boys and then I pass it down or I give it to my daughter. It's it really makes you think, what are you working for? What are you doing? What are you building? What are you creating? Which is a lot of the theme in which this podcast works on. It's will it be a gun? Will it be a knife? Will it be a tool? Will it be a piece of jewelry? What will it be? I've got ideas. But if I take on the responsibility of that legacy, then I need to build it now. And going into 2024, I know we're all starting our resolutions and our new ways, I don't even want to say it because with everything you're doing, but I really want to challenge you to say, what are you going to create or build or create a story around to be able to pass it on down the line? During this time, one of the things that I was able to use during the holidays a lot was I got to use my Magnolite pot, which, if you're not familiar with Magnolite pot, go and Google this pot. They don't make them anymore. It's in an aluminum pot. You can make a gumbo, a fricassee, a stew, a jambalaya, anything out of this pot, and it's just resilient. And they're coveted by chefs. And I got that from my grandmother. Surprisingly, I've got some stuff from Grandma. Grandma was good to me. Thank you, Mama. And when I look at it and I cook, I remember those things with her. So it got me thinking, what's my legacy going forward? So when you start trying to create these new things in the new year, keep it in the back of your mind to say, I'm going to create this to pass down to my kids and their kids, and that legacy, the going way down the line, because you don't know how that could inspire further down the line. What that can do. What you build now may not be seen for generations to come. It may not be recognized for generations to come. It may not affect now, but it could affect generations to come on that side. It got me thinking hard on that. It got me kind of recalibrating and rediscussing and rethinking about some of the things that I'm working on and I'm building and what I'm doing. I mean, you might build a business that you pass on to your kids, who then pass on to their kids. And next thing you know, you're fourth generation working in this business that they started, all because you took the chance on it. I'm telling you guys, don't sleep on this stuff. We have become a society in a world where everything's very easily replaceable. But there are only a few things that are lasting and making and going. And I'm hoping that for me and my wife, it's the joy of adventure and traveling and going places that our kids will do that. But at the same time, I hope if they're traveling and going somewhere, they'll be like, I'm going to have Dad's gun with me when we go because we're going on this trip. Or maybe it's a tool that I've used all the time, or a knife I've had. I don't know what it is, guys, and I'm being kind of sentimental, and y'all know that I don't really plan out a lot of these. I just kind of make general notes, and then I wing it, and I talk about it like as if we'd be sitting down across from each other and having a conversation about this. So, yeah. I can't wait till my buddy sends me the picture of his boy with his first deer with that gun. It's because I know what that's going to mean and I know what that's going to be. I know my dad's got his rifle, which I used to kill my first deer, and maybe one day I'll pass that on to my boy and they'll kill their first deer with it. I don't know. I can't plan. I can't explain that. But I know what I can plan because I know the rifle that I have, the deer and the memories that I've killed on that side. So yeah. So, with that said, think about that special thing you have from grandma, grandpa, great-grandpa, great-grandma, wherever it came from, and cherish it and think of the memories and then think about what you're going to do with that further down the line when it's your turn to pass it on. And send me a picture and tell me about it because I'd love to hear about it. And I tell you what, if you have something like that, send me a message about it, make a post and tag me on it and say like, this is my granddad's this is my grandma's this is my, whatever this is. My wife often actually wears a ring from my grandmother, which was made from the belt buckle of my great-grandfather. And I love when she wears it because it brings a connection closer. You see it, it looks good on her. She wears it well. I hope this makes you think. So in 2024, what do we have to look forward to from this show? What can you expect when you say, Buster, what's going to happen? I'd love to give you a preview and my commitment of what I'm hoping this legacy will build. We're going to be having more conversations with some pretty awesome guys. We're going to be having some meetups happening with some pretty awesome guys. We're going to be learning from each other. We're going to have a pretty awesome trip planned out to get better to North Carolina. Stay tuned for that one. Limited space available. We're going to get better. We're going to build. We're going to bring back this good old boy movement of these common men doing uncommon things and living uncommon life. We're going to bring back the chivalry, the godliness, the family man, the strong man, the confident man, the warrior in the garden. We're going to bring back all that. If you want to take that step, then keep following along. Keep sharing. Keep reposting. And just keep being a fan. As always, guys, I love you, and I'm praying for you. Stay tuned.